What comes to mind when you hear marriage expectations versus reality? Well, marriage often begins with high expectations shaped by love, culture, family advice, and media portrayals. Many people expect constant happiness, effortless communication, financial stability, and a partner who perfectly understands their needs. Now, these expectations create an ideal picture of marriage that may not fully reflect real life experiences. Now, in reality, marriage requires patience, compromise, continuous effort. They say couples face challenges such as financial pressure, differences in personality, career demands, family interference, tell me about it, and changing emotions. Disagreements and misunderstandings are normal, and love sustained not only by feelings, but by commitment, respect, and teamwork. The gap between expectations and reality can lead to disappointment if not properly managed. However, when couples understand that marriage is a journey of growth rather than perfection, they are better equipped to adapt and straighten their bond. A successful marriage is built by aligning expectations with reality through honest communications, mutual understanding, forgiveness, and shared responsibilities. Accepting imperfections and working together helps couples move from unrealistic expectations to mature and fulfilling partnership. Hello and welcome to Insight Today. I am Jumai Manson. Today, it's all about marriage expectations versus reality. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's Insight Today on Global Television, talking about marriage expectations and reality at ground. Now, the expectation is always, marriage is always romantic. But in reality, romance requires intentional effort. Yes, it's not just the man that has to be romantic. No, the woman has to be intentional in bringing that romantic part out of your partner. It's all about two of you aligning as one, showing affection, and that is why being intentional is very important. So people might say it's an everyday affair. No, you have to make that happen. You as an individual have to be intentional. You can start by gifts. It doesn't matter how big or how small the gift is, showing compassion, showing love, showing empathy. And yes, mistakes will definitely happen. At the same time, how do you handle those mistakes? How do you come together and settle scores? Now, they say love alone will solve all problems. That's the expectation. But in reality, commitment and communication sustains marriage. Yes, it's not just love alone. Are you kidding me? It has to be communication. You have to be committed to that marriage in order for it to stand the test of time. Yeah, many people forget that communication, when there is a breach in communication, it causes a void in marriage. So you have to constantly communicate. It doesn't matter even if you're in the same state or outside the shores of a particular country. You must communicate so you can always mend the gap of you always being together. So communication is key, and technology has come a long way now, making it easy with telephones, FaceTime, with your Facebook, WhatsApp, all of those encompass. You can always communicate, because without communication, there's always a bridge when it comes to marriage. And sometimes you wonder, a 1 year, 2 year old marriage, there's this strain. Without communication, there is always strain in that marriage. Now, the expectation is your partner will always understand you. Understanding grows through dialogue and patience. He must not always understand you. And for someone out there saying, Jumai, how? Well, the thing is, you're from different backgrounds. Yeah, different upbringings, different culture, different traditions, different ways of life. He might be from the south, she might be from the north, she might be from the west, he might be from the east, and so he mustn't always understand why you do the things that you do, especially when it comes to food, when it comes to what you wear, how you make your hair. So there's just that cultural difference. Some might say cultural shock, especially when you're married to a foreigner. He will not understand you at all. But when you come to a round table and you dialogue and you are patient enough to understand this individual, then your expectations will not be cut short when it comes to your partner understanding you. Because, well, the truth is, you expect him to always know what you want or what you're thinking. But in reality, it takes patient dialogue for him to understand whatever you mean, or will I say what you want to say. Now, expectations, there will be no serious conflict. That's it. We will never have a misunderstanding. We'll never say harsh words. We'll never talk about, oh no, everything is always rosy and rosy. Yeah. The expectation, well, let me cut it short. Because in reality, conflict is normal and can straighten the union if handled well. Conflicts will always come. You always have your misunderstandings. You always quarrel. But it's how you manage it that's important. Without throwing a fist. You know, there are other ways that you can settle dialogue. You don't have to throw a fist. No, please. They say it's abuse. That's when people say it's violence in marriage, and no one wants that. There are other ways in which you can commune and dialogue without throwing a fist, okay? Conflicts are normal. It shows your marriage is healthy. If it's rosy from day one till now, there is a serious problem. But once you have conflict once in a while and how you settle it matters, it shows that it's a normal marriage, and that can straighten the union if handled properly, or will I say well. Now, the expectation means marriage brings instant happiness. In reality, happiness fluctuates and must be nurtured. It's not a one-day thing. It doesn't just happen like that, or when you are facing something, like some individuals who jump into marriages and feel that will settle the whole problem, I'll be happy forever. No, it doesn't. It's a gradual process. It's all about you making yourself happy and your partner contributing to that happiness that you feel. Very important. So don't say to yourself, I'll be happy once I jump into that marriage. I'll be happy immediately I marry this beautiful woman or this very handsome man, I'll be happy. No, no, no. It's a gradual thing. It is something that nurtures and comes with time. Oh, of course, you're happy with some people are happy with their spouse, but at the same time, once you put your mind to it, you put your effort to it, both partners can be happy. Now, there's an expectation that says finances will automatically improve. Once I'm earning a particular amount, once I get married, the money will increase. I'll buy the Louis Vuitton bag. I'll buy all the bags you can ever imagine, the designers and all of that. Think again. Now, reality is financial pressure is a common marital challenge. Yeah, you have the house rent, when you have kids, you have school fees, when you have groceries to buy, you have to take care of yourself, you have to make your hair, you have to buy clothes, you have to buy shoes, you have to look the part, okay? So, and sometimes it's a common marital challenge. So it's all about balance. It's all about scale of preference. So as an individual, don't say to yourself, your finances, you've married a bank, like he will always, well, some are lucky. They have all of that, but challenges do come when it comes to finances. So it's how you manage it and settle that pressure. Of course, it's a common marital challenge, but at the same time, everything is fine. Now, the expectation is your spouse will not change. He'll always be that lovey-dovey, nice, kind, amazing man that you always want to see in the morning. You're always happy seeing his smile. Don't change. Reality is people grow and evolve over time. Yeah, he's going to grow. Career-wise, he's going to grow with his peers, he's going to grow in affluence, he's going to grow financially, he's going to grow socially, he's going to grow, and physically he's going to grow because, hey, you married him very maybe skinny or slim. He's going to have more biceps. He's going to grow older. Old wine. So he will definitely change because people evolve over time. So expect all of that. So the reality of he's going to remain the same person from now till forever. He's not going to change. Oh, please. That should just be in your head. But the truth is, he's going to grow when it comes to age. His body, there'll be white beards after some time. So deal with it. Now, the expectation is marriage removes loneliness. Military wives can actually relate to this. In reality, emotional connections must be maintained. Now, in some military homes, it's a norm that their husbands are away, leaving the wife to play dual roles when it comes to being the dad and the mom, taking care of the home front. She's the driver, she's the cook, she's every other thing encompassed so that void will not be there. So you think, like most military wives that I'm just using military wives because I can actually resonate with that. Now, you think that he's always present, he's always there, he's not going to go anywhere. But when posting comes, that loneliness definitely sets in. But the reality is your emotional connection must be maintained. He must always keep in touch when he can. And when he comes home, let him play the part. So all those lapses that were not there will actually fit in. So it's very important that you understand that. So loneliness sometimes comes in marriage, whether you are married into the military family or you're civilians. Sometimes he has to travel for business vacations, he has to travel for business trips, and you'll be lonely at that period. So it's very important that you maintain that connection, right? Very important. Now, the expectation is children will straighten the marriage. Let me quickly have kids so that the bond will be there and all of that. But in reality is parenting adds responsibility and some will say stress, but I don't want to agree with stress. But of course, it comes with it. It depends on how you can manage it. Very important. So if you're that kind of person that thinks in your mind that once you start having children, your marriage is rock solid, especially when you're having misunderstandings and he's just, you're drifting apart or infidelity comes in. Yeah, you heard me. Infidelity comes in because that's one of the parts we're going to talk about. Now, when he has, men, youthful exuberance, there's a particular age where a man starts acting as if he's a boy. We're going to come to that late in the course of the program. But the thing is that you have to understand all of that and know that if you are married at that point, children will not fix the marriage. So don't say to yourself, once I start having children, when I give birth, it will straighten our bond. No. Parenting adds responsibility and stress. So you must always try to fix that area before you start having kids. And you're sure that you can, because you don't want kids in a toxic environment. You don't want your kids in a toxic marriage. It's going to affect them emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Okay? Now, the expectation is communication will always be easy. At every given time when I call him, he's going to call me back. He's going to pick up my calls. And anytime I need to speak with him, he's always there. Even when he's talking to his friends, he always pick my calls. No. Communication skills must be learned and practiced. It's not all the time. I know when you started, it was always a 2-4-7 thing. Some people call it the honeymoon phase, when you always call and you always speak. Sometimes he's in a business meeting. Sometimes she is in a business meeting. She will, or sometimes even if he doesn't return or she doesn't return your call at that time, understand that he or she is busy. He will return your call. It shouldn't be an immediate thing. So it's very important we understand that. Now, the expectation is in-laws will not interfere. In-laws will interfere. Now, extended family dynamics require boundaries, because if you do not create that boundaries for your in-laws or his family to understand, or her family understand that there's some gaps you must not bridge. You understand, you mustn't go beyond this point. You mustn't talk down on my wife, you mustn't talk down on my husband. That has to be established. If you do not establish that, the truth is in-laws, extended families will always butt in the marriage. So boundaries is very important, that you create that family dynamics. It requires boundaries. Now the expectation is roles are automatically understood. No. Roles must be discussed and agreed upon. Now he's the head of the home. He's the one that, for instance, for someone who he gives the money for upkeep, he's the one that takes the kids to school in the morning. You know, you have your duties. She wakes up, she prepares breakfast, get the kids ready for school, and then he takes the kids to school, who picks them up later on in the day, who ensures. So all roles must be understood. Do not assume. Very important. For people that do the 50-50 stuff, well, all roles need to be understood. Now the expectation is apologies come easily. He will always say, I'm sorry. She'll always say, I'm sorry. But it's really heavy on the man's part, because ladies, we always want them to say, I'm sorry first. Yes, yeah, that's true. We always want them to say, I'm sorry, okay, forgive me. But in reality is, humanity and forgiveness takes maturity. So it doesn't matter who says sorry first. When you're in the marriage, you understand that if he says sorry, it's fine. If she says sorry first, it's fine. It doesn't matter who says sorry first. As long as there is an understanding and there is peace, you are good. Now, the expectation is marriage guarantees emotional fulfillment. But in reality, both partners must contribute emotionally. It must never be one-sided. She shouldn't be the one showing all the love and care and the lovey-dovey, no. It should never be one-sided. Both of you have to show that emotion when it comes to marriage. That's the only time marriage can, thrive and stand the test of time. So it's very important we understand that. Now, the expectation is problems will be short-lived. Reality is some challenges require time and persistence, especially when it comes to infidelity. Some women hardly forgive and they do not forget. So sometimes they need time to heal. And your partner needs to understand that, especially when he faults. Well, you know how Nigerian men behave. Some will tell you, if you can't deal with it, forget it. But that's the wrong way to go about it. But at the same time, if you are sorry or remorse, you give her time to heal, and you will try as much as possible to make her or help her come around. Now, the expectation is physical intimacy will always be spontaneous. No, it's not. The truth is, intimacy requires communication and care. It's not something that can just happen. Sometimes she's tired. Yeah, and sometimes he's tired. You need to understand that might not just come. It takes, it takes communication, it takes care, it takes you being understanding, it takes you being, just being there, subtle, and it will come. Now, the expectation is marriage ends personal struggles. No, it doesn't. Now, the reality is personal growth continues within marriage. It's a work in progress. No one understands. Those who are married 40, 30 years, they will tell you that marriage is a work in progress. Yes, it is. You learn every single day. Have you ever wondered why some individuals who are divorced or separated or widowed and they are getting married again, it's something that they are learning again. Doesn't matter even if they've been in that marriage for 10 years, 12 years, there's always something new. So it's a work in progress. It's not something you can just learn overnight. It's a work in progress. All right, now let's quickly go on a very quick break, and then we'll talk about your partner will meet all your needs. That's the expectation. But we know how that turns out. Do not go anywhere. It's Insight Today. Stay tuned.
That human angle topic on family, marriage, peer pressure, drug and substance abuse, societal issues, women and children, and so much more. Now, it's crucial to approach these subjects with empathy and understanding. These issues often intertwine with societal norms and can lead to tough conversations. It is important to create a safe space for dialogue where individuals can share their experiences without fear or judgment. I am Jumai Manson. Join me every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the program Inside Today on Global Television.
You are welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Inside Today, and we're talking about marriage expectations versus reality. Now, the expectation is your partner will meet all your needs. That's the expectation in the head of most women. But reality is healthy marriages allow individuality and support systems. Yeah, he might not meet all your needs. Sometimes he cannot meet all your physical, emotional, psychological, financial needs. It takes support systems and it takes time. So calm down. Now, the expectation is respect comes automatically. Yeah, but reality is respect is built through daily actions. Have you ever seen why some women disrespect their husbands? It's what they bring in and the woman gives out. So if a man is kind, if he respects her, when I mean respect, not kneel down and no. I mean he acknowledges that that's my wife and I love her. The woman easily respects him. So all of the gibberish of she's not respectful, calm down, take a deep breath. You give in what you want her to give out. So it's very important that we establish that so it can come automatically like a snap of a finger if you do the same. Now, expectation is marriage is all about perfection. You know, when a man is in his, when he's a bachelor, he expects the remote control to be on the table just the way he left it there, right? But no, the truth is there are two worlds coming together. So in reality is marriage thrives on grace and effort and understanding. She might understand that, okay, he's the kind of person that he wants the remote in a certain way. He wants his clothes folded in a certain way. He wants his hair, whatever, the food in a certain way. So it takes understanding by both partners. Now, the expectation is marriage will fix personal insecurities. The reality is personal healing is still an individual responsibility. After childbirth, an individual can, feel that insecurity of maybe stretch marks or excess skin and all of that. But the truth is, it takes you to heal yourself on your own. Now, the expectation is your spouse will always agree with you. No. Reality differs and opinions are healthy and inevitable. He shouldn't agree with you in everything. There's sometimes when he has to disagree to agree. So it happens. So we must understand that. Now, the expectation is efforts will reduce after marriage. No. Reality is marriage demands consistent effort. You must be consistent in order to make that effort. Now, there's an expectation that says love means never hurting each other. Really? But in reality, mistakes happen. Forgiveness sustains love. So you must learn to forgive when it comes to that aspect. Now, there's an expectation that says your partner will always prioritize you. No. Balancing work, family, and marriage is necessary. So these are other things that he has to prioritize, not just you alone. Know that and know peace. Now, the expectation is marriage guarantees security. Remember, reality is trust and transparency creates security. Now, the expectation is household responsibilities will be obvious. Now, chores, the reality is chores must be clearly shared. When it comes to issues, the Nigerian man will say, are you kidding me? But sometimes you can just help out. The world is evolving. Now, the expectation is your spouse will meet emotional needs instantly. Now, the reality is emotional needs must be expressed. You must tell him, I want a hug, or I want us to spend time together. You should express that. He cannot see what you're thinking about. It must be expressive, and that is why there is love language, so you can know what you want at that particular time. Okay, now the expectation is arguments mean failure. In reality, how conflicts are resolved matters more than their presence. Now, there's expectation that says marriage removes temptation. Reality is self-discipline and boundaries are essential. Now, the expectation is counseling is for failing marriages. No, it's not. Reality is counseling straightens healthy marriages too. And hope you've learned from all of these marriage expectations versus reality. And of course, teamwork is very important when it comes to marriage goals. Yeah, it's a teamwork. In order to make your marriage last long, in order to make both of you come together, it's very important that you understand that there is no perfect marriage and there are no perfect individuals. It's you on your own that can make it perfect in your own way. So in reality, marriage requires patience, compromise, and continuous effort. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.